Welcome to day 3 of our Amazon Profit Roadmap. I'm excited you are here. Today, we're going to be talking about something a lot of people have been waiting for, how to overcome some of the biggest challenges for Amazon sellers. 2025 selling on Amazon is a whole lot different than it was even last year or the year before. And there's some kind of challenges that have kind of come up. And so to kind of test out the chat, see if the chat is working, I want you to put in the chat, what are some of the biggest challenges you're facing in your Amazon business? We're going to talk about 3 really big challenges today, but also afterward, we are going to try to tackle as many other challenges that you put in the chat. So let us know whether it's a big challenge or whether it's just an annoying challenge. Let us know in the chat what are your biggest challenges, and we can, you know, do our best to help push you in the right direction, provide some hope. And maybe some of these challenges are not going to be roadblocks that are going to stop you from finding success, but maybe we can tweak it so they're just little speed bumps where you got to slow down, deal with something for a little bit, and then put the pedal back to the metal, move forward in your Amazon business. So you can put those challenges in the chat. I would appreciate that very much. In fact, Rebecca, why don't you tell everyone how to handle questions and anything else as we're going on in today's session? And I'm going to go get a water.
Hey, yes, get some water, take your allergy pill, blow your nose, do all the things you need to do before we get started. Um, and that goes for anybody that's watching live too. Take a break, get some water. We're about to get started. The chat is open for questions. I will be turning my camera off in just a minute when Stephen starts the teaching portion of not the episode. We just recorded a podcast episode. When Stephen starts the teaching portion of this session, and I will be in the chat, looking at the chat, the Q&A. You can ask questions there. Make sure that you have your chat set to everyone so that we can all chat together. If you want to do an anonymous question, you can do that in the Q&A. And I'll compile everything to ask Stephen at the end, or if it's something that we need to address right away, so that we don't lose it as we go on, I'll interrupt him. But I also put the link for the workbook for those of you who are just showing up. If you haven't been here earlier this week, fulltimefba.com/workbook. That link is there for you to make sure you've got that downloaded. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. This is always one that gets a lot of questions, so keep them coming. I'll keep them organized, and we will work through our obstacles together.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, thank you for kind of setting the tone for how to handle questions or comments or anything like that. But one more time, welcome to day number 3 of our Amazon Profit Roadmap. The essential companion to your roadmap is your workbook, fulltimefba.com/workbook. Download this. You can take notes. We're going to talk about at least 3 big challenges that Amazon sellers face when they're trying to grow their Amazon business, and how you can do your best to turn a speed bump into what looks like a roadblock, and maybe minimize it so that it can actually just be a speed bump where you still have to kind of slow down a little bit, get past that speed bump and move forward. But again, we want to make sure everyone knows if there's other obstacles, challenges, annoyances when it comes to Amazon, put those in the comments. We're going to try to address as many of them as we can after the presentation. But if you got the workbook, you've downloaded it, you can take notes. We're moving to day 3, talking about those 3 challenges. And we've got a ton to talk about, so we're going to jump and dive right into it head first. And the number one challenge that we've heard almost every single session so far in this workshop, that we have people emailing me about, is dealing with product restrictions. When you start selling on Amazon, um, it's super annoying, even frustrating to find a profitable item, but then Amazon is like, you're not allowed to sell it. I feel like Amazon actually has that tone. Okay, maybe there's no tone in when Amazon says I'm not allowed to sell it, but that's what it feels like, because I want to sell this. It's going to make me money, and you're telling me I'm not allowed to? How do I deal with that? There's some items that you're approved to sell and you can sell it, but it really is annoying when you're not able to get past that, uh, just the notification that you're not approved to sell it. So that's the first type of situation that Most Amazon sellers face, especially in the beginning stages, especially as they're first getting going, selling on Amazon. And it's one of those things that too many Amazon sellers see as a roadblock. Like if they're doing retail arbitrage, they scan the barcode, they see, oh, I'm not approved to sell it, and they put it back on the shelf and they keep moving. Or if they're doing online arbitrage, they are on their computer, they find an item, it's profitable, and they see they're not allowed to sell it. And so they're like, oh, I added it to my cart already, I'm going to take it out of my cart. So whether you are like taking things out of your digital cart online or out of your actual cart in retail stores, that's not the right steps to take in order to get past this situation. So I'm going to try to, like, this whole topic alone is worth an entire mini course. It's worth an entire training video. But I'm going to give you the highlights of that, um, how to handle those product restrictions. And so this is what you should do. Every single time you find yourself involved and see a product restriction, a item you are not approved to sell on Amazon, here's the four-step process. Put this in your notes. Step number one, always apply. Every single time, always apply to sell that item. Because just because you're not approved doesn't mean that your current seller metrics are not good enough to get approved. And you're like, Steven, what if I'm a brand new seller? Well, I don't even have seller metrics yet. Guess what? They're actually, see, it's not Amazon that's restricting you from selling this item. It's the brand that decides the parameters that allows who is able to sell the item or not. And one of the parameters is even just applying. So, yes, there are some brands out there. If you just apply to sell them, they will approve you. When it comes to product restrictions on Amazon, you don't get automatically approved without doing any work. But the only work you have to do at first is to just apply. So every time you see a product restriction, always apply. You will get so used to doing it, it can only take 2 or 3 seconds, depending on what app you're on, whether you're on the Amazon seller app or if you're using a Scoutify, it could take only a few seconds to apply to sell that item. And so that's the first thing you do. And guess what? Maybe your seller metrics are good enough, or maybe you've been selling on Amazon long enough. Always apply. In fact, the 6 month time period of selling on Amazon is a lot of times when brands just really start to open up to new sellers. So if you're like, oh, I've only been selling on Amazon for a few months, well, guess what? You only have 4 or 5 months left to wait until more brands begin to open. Not all brands, but more. And so the parameters that the brands decide, it's length of time selling, maybe it's a feedback score or a feedback percentage, maybe it's a return rate. We just don't know. So the thing to do is always apply. So that's the first step. Always apply. The second step to get approved to sell more items on Amazon is to follow the instructions. If you're not automatically approved, Amazon will tell you what you need to do to get approved. Maybe it is submitting an invoice of proof of purchase from a respected brand. So if you're like trying to get approved to sell in brand X, you show an invoice that you purchased from brand X to be able to sell that item, and maybe that will get you approved. Maybe you have got a wholesale relationship, or you're buying it straight from the company, or you're buying it from that brand themed store. There's different options that you can do to try to improve your chances of getting approved. So follow the instructions. Sometimes it's like, just watch this quick video and answer a few question quiz and you can get approved. Other times it's like, no, you need to buy 100 of these items and show proof that you purchased 100 of them to get approved. And guess what? The brands decide it. And the brands change what those requirements are from time to time. So even if you saw a brand asking you, no, you need to buy 300 items and show proof that you purchased 300 items in order to get approved to sell this item. Well, guess what? That might not be the same case a month or two from now. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but again, number one step, always apply. Number two step, follow the instructions. If you're able to follow those instructions and give Amazon what the brand is asking for, great, you can get approved. If not, step number three, improve your seller metrics. you can go through trying to increase your feedback score, decrease or try to remove some of your negative feedbacks. Make sure that your items, the return rate is low on your items if you're merchant fulfilled. One of the great things about being an FBA seller is because since we are outsourcing FBA, or we are outsourcing the storage, the shipping, and even the return process. That makes our seller metrics for all those items stellar because Amazon is doing it for us. And so just doing FBA helps increase your seller metrics. So always improving your metrics really is helpful. And um, and then step number four, reapply. Reapply on a consistent basis. So again, those four steps, always apply. Number two, follow whatever instructions the brand is asking for. Number three, improve your seller metrics, which means selling longer on Amazon gives you a longer amount of experience selling on Amazon, getting higher feedback scores, less negatives. So improving your seller metrics helps improve, get your chances of getting approved. And then number four, reapplying, because your seller metrics when you applied are going to be different from the seller metrics when you reapply. In fact, I set an alarm on my phone that goes off every 3 months to go and reapply to every item I've applied for in the past. And I just go, there's a page on Seller Central that I can go to and just go through and click a little filter that says find all of the brands that are the application is still in draft form. Because even though you apply, you don't get approved, your application is saved in draft form. So you can go through and just a few clicks reapply. And maybe your seller metrics or your time selling on Amazon is long enough to finally get approved. And that begins to open up the world to you as you're selling more items on Amazon. Now, like I told you before, this one deal with trying to get approved to sell more brands on Amazon, like I said, we could do a whole mini course about this. We can do a whole walkthrough of each of the steps to take. And guess what? That's exactly what we did in Momentum FBA. A few months ago, we have a course that dropped called the Restriction Buster, walking you through everything that you need to know to increase your chances to get approved to sell on Amazon. Where to go on Amazon to apply, where to go on Amazon to reapply, how you can help improve your feedback score, how you can delete some of your negative feedbacks if you have any of those for your seller feedback score, and other things that will help you improve your seller metrics. So we have a whole mini course on that. We have a whole co-working session. You can go back and watch that, do the co-working session with the replay, and be able to sell more items on Amazon. So again, that four-step process to help you turn the restrictions from a roadblock to a little speed bump, always apply, always follow the instructions that Amazon gives you if you can, always try to improve your seller metrics, and then finally reapply on a consistent basis. More brands will open up to you and you can sell more stuff. So that is the first roadblock that we're going to try to turn into a speed bump.
Hey, Stephen, before we move on, I do have a question about this that I think would go well here rather than waiting. How do you decide which brands to ungate when you're new? There are so many. Storefront stalking and start from there.
So I usually don't like to find products and start from the product point of view, because the problem with starting with the product point of view is you can find a product that you want to try to get ungated in, and but then you have to go find it actually at a low enough price where it's profitable. I like to and teach our students to focus on first finding the inventory that you actually know where it's at, know where it's being sold, know what it's being sold for, and then see if it's profitable, and then go through that process. Because it is not worth trying to get approved to sell brands in where you're not able to find the inventory at a low enough price where it's profitable. I want you to maximize the time that you spend on things that are actually worth spending time on. You can get approved to sell 1 million brands on Amazon and then never find them or never find them where it's actually profitable. So first you find the items that are profitable, and then you start working towards getting approved to sell those brands. And the cool thing is yes, some of them will be approved day one. That's what Amazon resellers like to call auto approval, that just by applying, you get approved because of your seller metrics. But in other ones, maybe it'll take 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year to get approved. It all depends on how well your seller metrics continue to improve over time. So that's how we can better increase our chances to sell more items on Amazon. And again, that 6 months window, it is a magical time where a lot, in fact, I think 6 months might be like the default Amazon gives brands to choose what metrics do do they want their sellers to achieve before they're allowed to be approved to sell those items. And so 6 months, it's not that long of a wait. And there are still millions, literally millions of items on Amazon that you're already approved to sell that you can focus on to try to make money on Amazon. And then once you're able to get approved to sell other ones, well, that's awesome because that there's lower competition for items that need approval. And once you get approval, there's less competition. So it's a good way to grow your Amazon business over time. So that's the first struggle that Amazon sellers usually have, that comes up in almost every kind of conversation. The next two challenges I'm going to spend a little bit less time on, mostly because um, the fixes are a lot faster. And so I want to be able to walk you through these fixes. But the second biggest struggle that Amazon sellers have that I come in contact with, maybe it's because they've got a full-time job or they've got kids at home or both, is the struggle of not having enough time. I just don't have enough time to sell on Amazon. I don't have enough time to go through all that inventory. I don't have enough time to apply for every brand that I am restricted. I don't have enough time to find some. So the issue of time is a complicated problem because there's, our first suggest our first thought is, okay, I just need to use my time better. I just need to like spend less time watching television, wake up earlier than usual, or spend a little bit stay up a little bit later so that I can find the time to do it. And yes, those are strategies that work, but a lot of times the issue is not really time. The real issue is you don't have the systems set in place so that the time that you spend is maximized. It reminds me of when I was a little kid. Um, my mom would tell me to go clean my room. And I've got toys are all over the ground. The sheets are on the floor. There's dirty clothes I mean, everything's on the ground as a kid, right? My mom wants me to go clean my room. So, and there were times where I would go to my room and I would start cleaning my room and realize, okay, I need to put this one toy in this one drawer. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the drawer. I open up the drawer and I put the toy in it and I see like, oh, there's some clothes in this toy drawer that should not be in the toy drawer. So I've like start moving everything out of the drawer that's not a toy. And so now I've got all this stuff that I need to like put in its right place. And so I'm spending all this time putting the clothes where they're supposed to go, and in the meantime, I'm actually making the room a lot dirtier than it was when my mom said, "Go clean your room." My mom, her main goal was for me to put things away so that the floor could be clean enough so it can be vacuumed. And here I am putting more stuff on the floor because I need to like I ended up making things harder on me because I'm not focused on the right goal. And a lot of us in our Amazon sellers, there's a lot of busy work that we can find ourselves spending time on that seems like it's work, but it's not actual work that's moving the needle forward. It's not actual work that is bringing us money. And so a lot of times, like even going back to like, I need to come up with a really good Amazon store name, a store name that sounds dependable and reliable, and you end up spending like a whole week trying to come up with your store name. Um, and and you waste a week of not like actually get your Amazon account opened and start finding inventory. Um, and not realizing that 99.9% of customers don't care at all what your store name is and never remember your store name. And so it's like you're spending your time on things when instead you don't need more time. You just need better systems and processes in place. And that's one of the things that we help you with Momentum FBA, how to prioritize the time that you spend so that the time that you're spending is actually on needle moving activities, money making activities. So so in your notebook or in your workbook, the problem is I don't have enough time, but the solution is creating better processes and systems. You can do that on your own, or you can follow along our suggestions in Momentum FBA. Um, and like what's really cool is like right now we are in the middle of a budget breakthrough um, course for the month of November, a mini course helping you know how to spend your money, how to reinvest your money the right way. Is it best spent on a tool? Is it best spent on more inventory? What percentage on inventory? What percentage on a tool? How much? When do I get paid? All that kind of stuff, and how to best use your money so that your money is being used in a way that moves your business forward. And so when it comes to needing more time, yeah, there's things that we can do to kind of find more time, but we want to make sure that every minute that we're spending on our Amazon business helps make you more money. I mean, there's the ways you can do that by outsourcing, like outsourcing with FBA. You're already letting someone else do part of the job so you can focus more on sourcing and making money. So that's the second type of struggle that a lot of people have, not having enough time. But in honesty, it's kind of a tricky situation because the real problem is I don't have the systems and processes in place. We can help you with that with Momentum FBA. And then the third problem, third challenge that Amazon sellers sometimes see as a roadblock is the whole issue of fear. Um, I'm scared to spend money on inventory because I don't want to make a bad decision. I'm scared to buy multiples of an inventory item because I don't want to buy too many of them. Or I'm scared that I'm not buying enough. And so you end up not actually making a decision and following through with that. Um, the issue of fear might be one of the hardest challenges to overcome, but once you're able to work past it, it is one of the most freeing challenges to overcome. Getting past fear to move your Amazon business forward. I'm scared of trying a new category because I feel really good about books or feel really good about toys, but man, going into the grocery category, I don't know about that. Or I feel really comfortable doing retail arbitrage, but I'm scared to death about online arbitrage. And so you let those fears stop you, and they end up costing you money and having you miss out on profits. So, one of the best ways to overcome fear is knowledge plus action. Because guess what? We're all going to fail, but none of our failures are going to end us. None of our failures, unless we're buying counterfeits to sell on Amazon, none of our failures are going to shut our account down. Failures just means you're still learning and there's something to learn and there's something to overcome and get past, and you can move forward and not have to worry about that anymore. So if you are afraid of selling on Amazon, getting started, or scared of taking the next step in your Amazon business, there is knowledge plus information. And that's the coolest thing about Momentum FBA. For years, we just put out a bunch of knowledge, for people to know about it and kind of let them on their own with actually taking action. But with Momentum FBA, it is knowledge plus action together. Yes, you get a mini course every single month of the year, but the second week, there's a co-working session where we're actually working on things together. There's times where you can ask questions and get specific answers for everything that we're talking about so you are not on your own. So the first week, the mini course drops. That's information. The second week, a co-working session. That's action, actually, and getting clarity on what you're doing. And then the third week, we have our monthly focus about, in fact, that's going to be dropping really soon, what to do actually in the month of November of 2025 so that you are ready for the months ahead. What do I need to know to focus on now? And then the fourth week is a growth session. It's another co-working session where we're working together, talking through the things that you need to pivot to in your Amazon business, try out, and you can ask questions. And then there's accountability so you can take action. And one of the coolest action things are our every other month skill sprints, where there's a certain skill. Like a few months ago, we had a retail arbitrage skill sprint. It was a 30-day sprint, giving you 30 simple, focused action steps to take to do retail arbitrage, to try different retail arbitrage strategies. And in a few days, we're going to be dropping our budget breakthrough cash flow sprint, a 7-day jumpstart cash flow sprint, walking you through um, things that will help your Amazon cash flow and how to handle that. And there'll be seven, because it's going to be a 7-day sprint, simple action steps to take. So you get the information and you take the action. Teaming that together helps you overcome the fears and move forward. And so I want to invite you to join Momentum FBA. It is a monthly subscription cost, and right now it's on sale. We usually charge Momentum FBA $59 a month for our Momentum FBA, but right now we've lowered the cost for a very short amount of time to $49 a month. $49 a month, where you're able to get those monthly mini course drops, those monthly co-working sessions, monthly focused videos, and then monthly growth sessions. Um, and if you want an even bigger discount, it's almost as if getting a month for free. You can pay for our annual membership. That cost is also on sale. So you can go check it out yourself, fultonefba.com/momentum, and find out, and check out a lot of our mini courses and our sprints and some things that are already waiting for you, that we've already done in the past or that you can jump right into. And then we've got some really, really cool bonuses. Our biggest bonus is only for annual members who sign up for Momentum FBA while we are live on the call right now. And that bonus is a 30-minute one-on-one call. You and me, baby. We're going to be on a call, and I will ask you the questions about your Amazon business, what your financial situation is, what your living situation is. Like, like, are you surrounded by retail stores or not? And you need to focus on more on online arbitrage. And to find out what are your biggest fears to help you overcome those. What are the biggest bottlenecks that are kind of slowing your growth down? And we will work through those things. So it's a bonus 30-minute strategy call with me if you sign up for Momentum FBA under the annual membership. A quick link for that, fultonefba.com/annual will take you to that, and you can lock in that 30-minute strategy call. Other bonuses, if you sign up for the monthly or the annual, you also get a bonus budgeting session deep dive where because right now in November of 2025, we are all about the budget breakthrough, making sure that we are using our money and our finances right to grow an Amazon business. How much to reinvest, how much to pay yourself, and it depends on different stages of your business. And so there's a live deep dive that's going to be coming up, including Q&A for the budget breakthrough, and then an entire budget breakthrough workbook. So you get that as a bonus if you sign up within the next few days. There's also that the budget workbook also includes assessments and formulas and things that you can look back on to make sure you take the right steps and the right actions to best handle your money, because it's not just about spending money on inventory. There's other and there's just so much you need to know. We want to make sure you take the right kind of actions on that. Another bonus, we're including an operational expenses tracker. We're including a replens tracker so that you can take care of that. And then again, our sprint that's about to come up starts November 17th. Our cash flow jumpstart week is going to be starting, so you want to sign up for that so you don't miss out on that. And then also, if you decide that you want the annual membership, you also get, as a special bonus, only for our annual subscribers, our Q4 sourcing hotspots top 100. we're taking a look at 100 exact store names and sections in the store. So we don't just say, yeah, go to Target. It's great. No, we say, go to Target in this specific section, and you will have an increased chance of finding profitable inventory. Because there are sections you definitely should avoid when it comes to sourcing, because it's not worth your time. Again, we want to spend our time wisely. We want to be able to make the right choices and decide what we need to do to be able to find the most inventory as fast as we can. We know the places to go and the places to look. So it is a PDF, a top 100 breaking down exact store names and sections of the store for you to go to maximize your chances of finding inventory. So those are the bonuses. You can go check them out for yourself at fultonfba.com/momentum, and it will help you finally get some momentum in your Amazon FBA business. If you're like, I'm tired, this whole Amazon thing, it's exhausting. It will, guess what? It's exhausting because you might not be using your time right. You might not be building up your momentum. You might not be building an actual profit snowball. And so, like, and what's a snowball? Starts at the top of the mountain small, and as it goes downhill, it gets more snow and gets bigger. That's what we want to do with your money. We want it to start at whatever the starting place is right now and start going downhill, gathering up more money and getting a big, huge profit snowball that grows, and we want to help you do it. Um, a lot of times people are like, this business is hard to do on your own. Yes, you need some help. We would love to help you. This business, I don't know exactly what to do first or what to do next. Well, guess what? We'll tell you. We'll outline it for you. I've learned this new thing, but I got all these questions. Well, guess what? Twice a month we have live calls where you can ask questions to get clarity about what's going on. So join us, fultonfba.com/momentum. I know there's other challenges y'all are facing. Those are the top three that most people come to me with, and I want to help you with. We're also going to open up and look at some other challenges that are going on. But first, we're going to answer whatever kind of questions you might have about what I've already talked about. So Rebecca's going to come back on in a moment and we'll answer your questions. If you haven't had a chance to ask your questions, do that in the chat or the questions tab, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. And now it's time for me to get a drink of water.
Take a break, take a breather. Okay, so I'm organizing all the questions by theme. I'm going to be going through them. If I haven't asked your question yet, as I'm going through it, don't worry, I'm getting to it. So a couple of questions about Momentum FBA first. I signed up for a monthly course with y'all when I was active years ago. Is my membership grandfathered? This is the first time we've ever had a membership. So this is different from any of the courses we've had in the past. We've never had a monthly membership. And so if you've purchased a course in the past, that will be in your Kajabi library. You can go to fulltimefba.com/login, and that'll take you to Kajabi where you can log in and see which courses you have with us. But this is different. This is a membership where we have ongoing programs throughout the month. We do have mini courses, but they're different from the courses that we've done in the past. That's a good question. I am a former Amazon storefront owner. I canceled my account a few years back, but I'm looking to re-engage. How difficult is it now to get started, and is Momentum FBA for brand new sellers?
So since you have already had an account in the past, if you're wanting to start a new one, you can reopen that closed account. That they'll just need verification proving that you are who you say you are. But even if you start a brand new account, you'll also still need to prove who you are, who you say you are. And so even if you're not able to find your old account or your login, you can still open up a new one and get that going. And Momentum FBA is designed for both new sellers and current sellers to get that momentum going. And so you're able to learn a lot of skills that can help you. We've got stuff that's like almost like not in a vault, but like we've got our past courses that we've dropped, our past co-working session that are replays, past sprints that we've done in the past. So you can kind of go through I guess I'll just say I'll just call it a vault. You can gotta go through the vault. There's because there's really valuable things that you can get access to, find out what works best for you, and then every month moving forward, there's going to be new things for you to learn and gain access to. And so it's definitely good for both brand new to selling on Amazon, as well as current Amazon sellers who are struggling and just need some help and get because the key to Momentum FBA is to get that momentum growing. So whether you're just now starting that or you have stalled out and you need to restart it up again, we're here to help.
Are the live calls for Momentum FBA always during the day? I work full-time currently and would like to sign up for the annual plan, but I want to make sure I can take advantage of all the live sessions.
So the live sessions are during the day for Momentum FBA. That's when we do our Q&A or our co-working session. But the thing is that like you can know ahead of time when the upcoming calls are, and if you have specific questions, you're able to reach out to us with those questions, and we will answer them live on the call. So if like 1 month we had a retail arbitrage mini course that dropped on a Monday or Scott dropped on a Wednesday. And then a week later, we had a co-working session. And so it's like you've got like a week to be able to go through that mini course and come up with a question, and you can ask that question the following week. But then again, week four, there's another live session. And so if you're like, oh, it took me 2 weeks to get through the first course, mini course, I've got a question now, you're able to ask that during weeks four's live. So again, there's 2 live calls a week. You'll get access to all the replays if you're not able to make their live. But if you do have a question, feel free to ask us via email, fultonfba.com/contact, and we'll do our best to answer those during during those live calls. And honestly, if you also just need a question outside of that time, fultonfba.com/contact, let us know. We'll do our best to answer you via email.
Yeah. Also, we do have bonus sessions from time to time for the annual members. Those aren't regularly scheduled, but they come up from time to time. Like last month, we had the Profit Check Intensive for annual members, and that one was in the evening. So that was a 2-hour evening class that we did just for annual members. So we try to mix up those bonus sessions so that those sometimes are in the evening as well. But the regular sessions are going to be during the day. All right, keep the questions coming. I think that's all that I saw directly about Momentum FBA right now. So I'm going to go through the ones I've got them in sections according to the different roadblocks. So we've already answered a couple about gating. Do you suggest third-party companies to get ungated?
So there was some in the past that would you can pay for them and they would tell you, you need to buy these items and you can get approved. The only problem is that a lot of those people that went through that in the past have become regated um, because the steps that they went through were not um, I don't want to say they weren't legitimate, um, but Amazon is more focused on you earning the right to sell the items on Amazon, not trying to find a loophole or a shortcut to be able. So I don't recommend at this time. I don't know of a quality company that you can pay to help get you ungated. Um, because I don't know if that would actually stick and help you in the long run. The most important thing for you to do is to work on your seller metrics and the time of length that you've been selling on Amazon and the persistence in reapplying. That's going to give you the best chance to do that. I mean, the number one best chance is to open a wholesale account with the brand. That will get you ungated for sure, but that's really difficult to do.
Okay, it's finishing up typing a response to a question. I was giving some instructions, and I'll say that here too, but some instructions for if you are a full-time FBA student from in the past and you're having trouble accessing anything in your library, you can go to fulltimefba.com/login, and that will take you to Kajabi where you can log in and you can look to see what you have in your library from our previous courses. We're not really updating previous courses right now. So anything that you have there is kind of, what would you call it? Like um, like archive types from the
Yeah.
vault kind of
I mean,
things.
yeah, in the past we would update all of our courses. So it's at least updated to the last time we updated. So there might be some information that's outdated in those courses. So you want to do your due diligence to make sure. I know with Momentum FBA, we're going to make sure everything is continually
Yeah,
updated.
we're continually updating that right now. But if you have problems because you have an older account with us and you aren't sure which email you used, you can also email me. I put that in the chat. Or you could go to fulltimefba.com/contact. That will get to me as well. And you can just let us know, hey, I'm having trouble finding my previous courses, and I'll help you get going on that.
Yeah, and also if you're like, I don't even remember my password, you can click the little
Yeah.
thing to reset your password, and usually that helps most people get back into their courses.
Yeah, yeah. Try that or try a couple of email addresses if you're not sure which one, or you can email me and I will help you to see what username you used for your account. Because I feel you on that. There are too many email username, password combinations out there for accounts. So,
Yep.
um, oh, the legendary courses. There you go. I love that. It's not from the vault, it's our legendary courses. Um, okay, there was another question about gating ready to go. What would you do differently in regards to how you went about ungating in the beginning? I realize it was a long time ago, but that's the question. So like, what would you do differently now?
Yeah, one of the things is and it's what I teach you to continually reapply. Because what I did differently when I
Yeah.
saw I was gated, I was like, oh, that's it. All right, I need to find something else.
Moving on.
And then and then I started, oh, I can apply. Okay, then I started applying. Oh, I'm not approved. Yeah, I have to go to something else. And so what I would do differently is from day one, always apply. And then again, always reapply over and over again. And actually do set a reminder on your
Yes.
phone or something so that you don't forget. You might think, oh, I'll remember to go back. And then like a year passes and you're like, oh, I totally forgot because we can't remember everything. Set a reminder and
Yes.
reapply.
Always set reminders. I was just working on some stuff for our upcoming cash flow jumpstart week. Y'all, when we get into that, the number of times that I tell you, and then set a reminder. Like that's going to be a big part of your cash flow jumpstart week is like working through all the tasks and then set a reminder to come back and check on it. And then set a reminder to come back and do it again every month. So always set those reminders, schedule it in. That's part of the systems that help you to make the
Yeah.
most of all the work that you're doing so that you don't lose out on your progress and so that you stay on top of things, especially if you're doing it as a one-man show, which I'll get into. There's a an obstacle roadblock that we're going to talk about just a second about that. But if it's just you that you are not working with, you haven't outsourced a lot or you don't have a business partner, like our brains cannot handle all of that. We need to set those reminders and put those systems and processes in place. So, on those lines, we have my biggest challenge has been finding a business partner, not just an employee. Even with third-party help, it's still hard to do everything by myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is hard. And I mean, I do know like before Rebecca and I got married, I was able to make a full-time income selling on Amazon just as a one person, but it's still very, very hard to do. Um, and so it's one of those where adding a partner can be great in some areas, but in other areas it can also become a strain or a struggle. And so, it's you might be trading one set of frustrations for a different set of frustrations, and so you kind of want to make sure that if you're trying to find a partner in this, that it is a good match. And so, um, I mean, honestly, yeah, there's a lot of really great third-party tools, but being able to outsource to a prep center to be able to prep your inventory is really good. Even if you just hire some help to take care of prepping in your garage or office or living room or whatever, someone that you know and trust, where you might not need to actually hire a partner who's on the same level as you, but just being able to hire people to do like, and in fact, I'm going to show you something that I have as a reminder behind me
Oh, yes. I know what you're doing.
single day. Only do what only you can do. One of the things that slows us down is because we do almost everything. As a one person business, we do almost everything. So you should ask yourself this question. Can anyone else do this? If they are paid a fair wage, can someone else do this? That means you should not be doing it. You need to be doing the CEO tasks. The CEO does not go from office to office gathering people's trash and taking it to the dumpster. That's not a CEO task. So, what are the everyday activities that you do that almost anyone can do and try to outsource that?
All right. A roadblock on replens. I like this one. We didn't really get into replens today, but we've talked about replens a lot, but there are some roadblocks to replens. And one of them is, how do you deal with stores only selling you three of an item or 10 or whatever? It's a great replen, but I'm limited by how many I can buy.
Yeah, we've had that happen to us. Like the order would be canceled because I ordered too many, or they will just let me allow a certain number of items to my cart. Um, there's a couple different things that I want you to think about and try, and that's this. If it's a limited number of items that you are allowed to purchase, maybe it's limit three, maybe it's limit 10 or whatever. I would order that limit and place the order. And the moment I get an email saying your order has been shipped, because 99% of online orders, they'll let you know when it's shipped. When that email comes in, I go back to that website and I order that limit again. And so, it's sometimes it's just an extra step, but if you are confident in the number of items that you're wanting to buy, and you're like, I want to buy 40 of them, not limit 10, then go through that four times. It orders, it ships immediately, reorder and ships, reorder and follow through like that. And
Yeah,
that's something that will help you.
yeah, that's it exactly. And that's one of those things where it's like the email confirmation is the trigger that triggers you to go back and redo it. You don't need to set a reminder necessarily. You might, but like for me, that's when I'm processing emails or my assistant's helping me with that. That's the trigger. Okay, go back and reorder. And that's another way you can build that system in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, question about the live only bonus. We've got about 11 minutes left for that live only bonus, which is the one-to-one 30-minute strategy call with Stephen for annual membership. Is that a one-time or is that the monthly focus session that's advertised under the annual plan? So the strategy call that's the bonus is a one-to-one strategy call with Stephen that you can schedule whenever you want to do it. And that is a one-time bonus. We usually charge $250. If you go to his Calendly to schedule something with him there, we usually charge $250 for a 30-minute one-to-one. But we're offering that as the live bonus right now for signing up for annual membership. The monthly focus session is that's this one of the regular sessions. So there's four regular sessions that we're doing, or two live sessions and two video drops or course drops that we do. So the two live sessions we do each month are the co-working session and then like the growth session is those are both live and opportunities for you to come ask your questions live or to get your questions answered live. Um, the mini course and the monthly focus session are both videos that drop and you can watch them when you're ready to watch them that week. But yeah, so that's the difference between those. We have the two live sessions and then that with the one-to-one strategy call, that is one that it doesn't necessarily have to be scheduled during the day because we know that people work. We've had people sign up for the annual membership and they're like, I looked on your calendar and all you have available are, times during the workday. Just let us know and we can open up some times for you that aren't during the workday because we do know that that's hard to work around, but we want to make sure that people are getting those strategy calls. It's a really good way if you're jumping into Momentum FBA and you're like, where do I even start? Or you're jumping into FBA in general, where do I start? Get that month or get that bonus strategy session so that you can lay out a strategy for how to move forward and then make the most of your membership and know what to work on, which steps to work on in your FBA business first.
Yeah, and seriously, I look forward to those calls because
Yeah.
those are calls with people who are hungry and ready, and I just get really excited because I get to be a part of your Amazon business and push you in the right direction. And then throughout Momentum FBA, we get to continue on that journey together. And I love seeing where Amazon businesses go after those calls. And I'd love to have a call with you. So yeah, lock in your annual rate, fultonefba.com/annual, for another 8 minutes. You got the time to lock in that special 30-minute one-on-one call with me.
Yeah, and that the link to sign up for that, I send those emails out usually within a day after you sign up for that member, like when the live bonus is going on. So like people that have signed up over the last couple of days, you should have received emails from me at Rebecca at Fulltime FBA. If you haven't, check your spam folder. Let us know if you haven't received it yet, and I'll be sure to send it over to you and make sure that you get your link to sign up to see the calendar and book your call. So yeah, some of the process of your purchase is automated through Kajabi, but like those bonuses, I do that individually so that I can make sure that everybody's getting the right thing. All right, what's next? Um, Actually, I'm looking through this. I think I went through all the roadblock questions. Let me see. Let me know as we're winding down here if you have any more questions in the chat. Did you see Amazon announce they aren't offering prep? I can talk. Aren't offering prep services effective January 1st.
Yeah, I see that because I know in the past, like if you did not prep your inventory the way Amazon wants you to, like Amazon requires certain items to be polybagged. And if you didn't prep it that way, then Amazon would just charge you and provide that prep service for you for a fee. And Amazon, yeah, announced that they're no longer prepping things for you for a fee. So the worst case scenario of that is, okay, the item is not prepped under Amazon's rules, and it goes into stranded inventory, and you actually have to remove it, set up a removal order, have the item shipped back to you so you can prep it the right way, and then send it back into Amazon. So yeah, so yeah, it's a huge drain on I mean the momentum that you're trying to grow if you don't prep things the right way the first time. So I did hear about that, and yeah, I just know make sure that you prep it the right way when the first time.
All right. Well, unless y'all have any more questions coming in. Oh, today's dad joke. Good question. We need to cover that.
All right. All right, this might only work if you know different type of Honda makes, different models of Honda. But the question today is, why did the Hulk get kicked out of the Honda dealership? He was throwing a fit. So there's a Honda brand called the Honda Fit. And so if the Hulk is throwing a fit, he's throwing one of their cars. Okay, that is all right. That's not a very good one. So let's look at yesterday's dad joke. What did the green grape say to the purple grape? Breathe, breathe. Okay, because the grape was turning purple because anyway, it's a really bad joke. All right, not all these dad jokes are winners.
Yeah,
They're not all bangers.
they're
Uh,
not all the best.
yes.
Okay. Um, I don't know how to say your name. Is it Tia or Taya? I don't want to say it wrong. I'm so sorry. I got your contact information. I'm gonna and I'll make sure to email you with the email that you used for this webinar. Don't worry, you're going to get your bonus. Sometimes the payment system gives us issues that will not count against you for your live bonus for sure. Okay, Janet says, do you have prep centers to mention? That's a good question because we do love a good prep center.
Yeah, and in fact, the name of the prep center that we use and recommend is called My Prep Center. So you can just go to fulltimefba.com/My Prep Center. They're located in Michigan. They are very thorough. I've used other prep centers in the past that have not been as thorough, and it's been kind of a frustration. But I'm thankful for how thorough the prep center is. Like this one will send me a message and be like, "Hey, that this item doesn't really match up very well with the Amazon product page." And sometimes that's my fault because I ordered something that I thought was something different. Other times it's the place I ordered it from sent me the wrong item. But anyways, you always want to make sure that you're sending something to Amazon that perfectly matches and is an exact match. And some prep centers will double check that and let you know if something's wrong, and others just want to take your money and do their job. And so I recommend My Prep Center, fulltimefba.com/My Prep Center, to check it out and see if that works for you. I do know there was a time where we had a prep center in Texas and they went out of business. And the 2.5 to 3 weeks before we found a new prep center was the longest 2.5 to 3 weeks of my life where we had to prep our own inventory ourselves because obviously to get some really good momentum, you want to get your stuff to Amazon as soon as possible. And I loved outsourcing that. I loved paying someone else because guess what? Can anyone else receive your inventory? Can anyone else polybag your inventory? Can anyone else put a FNSKU label on your inventory? Can anyone else put your inventory in a box and ship it to an Amazon warehouse? Almost yes. So that should be something that you don't do if you get to a certain point where it's spending up too much time and you don't have the time available to even source inventory anymore or reprice your inventory without, you know, because you have to receive your inventory and prep it and ship it to Amazon. So outsourcing that, outsource as much as you can. A question Rebecca and I ask every 2 to 3 months. What do we need to outsource? What have we started doing ourselves that we need to go back to outsourcing? Or what have we been doing that's starting to increase in the time that we're spending that we need to outsource? And that helps you find better systems and processes so that you have more time to actually do things in your Amazon business that make you money. We always think, oh, but it's so easy. If I can do this really easy thing, why should I pay someone else to do it? Because they can do it too. And so you should pay them to do it to free. It's if you're able to pay someone, I'm just gonna throw a money. I'm just gonna throw an amount out. If you're able to pay someone $15 an hour, that frees you up to make $50 an hour. That's an easy trade. Don't think, oh, I want to make the $50 an hour and also do $15 an hour work. No, that's less that you're going to be able to make at $50 an hour. So outsource as much as you can. That's a great way to get the systems and processes set up. And that's some things that are on our plans for Momentum FBA to make sure that we talk about things we can help you out with sometime in the future.
Yeah, we are excited about looking into the calendar for January and beyond with Momentum FBA. We've got a lot of really great plans for 2026. We have great plans for December too.
Yeah.
Um, and November has been really exciting so far. I have put a lot of work into the workbook, the bonus workbook for budgeting breakthrough, the mini course. That session, the co-working session, is already live in Momentum FBA with that workbook. I am finishing up the last touches for the cash flow jumpstart week and the trackers and all that's going with that. Yeah, next week is going to be busy week too. So keep an eye on your email for the way for those of you who weren't here for our RA sprint that we did before, the way the skill sprints work is we send out an email each day with the tasks for that day and any of the associated information you need with that. But we also update Kajabi for the whole week. So this time I'll just give it to you all in one, it will not be like 1 week at a time the same way we did with the 30-day sprint. It was like, here's the whole week ahead of time. So this time it's going to be, dropped each day and you'll get to kind of go along either in Kajabi or just check your email each day. So you'll be getting those updates. You'll find out what to do. We're going to build some of it, we will be building from day to day, others of them are standalone. And so you'll get to kind of pick and choose how you do that. And that RA sprint is there too. We did it in September. It was a 30-day sprint, but you can do it at any time. You can start day one whenever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's great, Tia. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll send you an email too, and we'll make sure that you get everything all set up. And I'll make sure that I'll go in and make sure you get all your bonuses in Kajabi and all of that. That's exciting. We're glad to have you.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
one last time, fultonfba.com/momentum. We would love to join you, help you start or pick back up again, getting some serious momentum in your Amazon FBA business. And that last chance, few seconds left to lock in. If you want to go get it at the annual rate and get your annual bonus of a live 30-minute one-on-one call with me, fultonfba.com/annual. And we'll be able to help you grow your Amazon business and get started, get your questions answered. But really, I mean, honestly, like the Restriction Buster mini course alone is worth the first month of Momentum FBA. And so Momentum FBA, if you decide to just sign up for the monthly, you get access to that, and then guess what? There's more mini courses and more co-working sessions and more monthly focus and other growth sessions to help you grow your Amazon business. So every month of the year, you're no longer by yourself. You have a team that's working with you to help you grow your Amazon business, getting closer to making a full-time income and being able to do that in part-time hours eventually. That's our goal, to help you start off getting those daily sales on Amazon and then growing from there. So fultonfba.com/momentum. We would love to help you grow your Amazon business, and we look forward to doing that.
All right, I think that's all we have for this workshop. 3-day workshop. That's a wrap.
Yep, it was fun. It was fun hanging out with you, and we'll see you next time. God bless.
Yeah. Bye, guys. See you next week in Momentum FBA.
All right, bye bye.